Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory, Empires as Persia. In the third part of the first stream after getting back to streaming because the modem got dead. Um, in this part, we're going to continue our war with Egypt. I think the war with Egypt is going well. We had a little bit of kerfuffle back here, which has caused us to lose the province of Palestine. We may attempt to just simply buy Judea post-war with Egypt. We haven't been able to make client states out of most of our borders, so we've actually got some pretty secure borders. This is weirdly one of our less secure borders. We're going to overrun this shortly. I think at this point we just want to go through the territories here, and then we can cycle a turn. We're going to storm another Egyptian fort here. We got the cavalry coming along. They're going to start sweeping down the west side of Egypt, it looks like this time. Again, mostly trying to take unfortified territory, because the cavalry can just sweep through them. Taking multiple territories a turn if things go according to plan. If you're playing other nations, royal treasuries can be useful as a way to try to get around administrative burden and/or a way to make more culture. If you just want to hoard money in them, if they hoard enough money, they gain some culture bonus. I think they also start demanding gold. So that's the thing to note. You probably want the local source of gold where you're building these. And we might not have gold here. Frankincense is a local good here, so this is actually a pretty good place for Basilica. Yeah, that's a pretty good place for Basilica. Let's grab that Basilica. Although there's maybe an argument to grab the wall. We'll grab the Basilica. And then we got another slave in, so we can slap you onto production, infrastructure. 2 building slots there. Because we just got a land expansion. This is probably a place, like the arsenal. The upgraded arsenals are just usually pretty meh. We are probably going to grab it, like the Duction and Malakost. This isn't a place where we're building heavy infantry, but we do want to be making rolls on the Great Arsenal in particular. And it's a 0-slot upgrade, so other than it just being a pretty bad building upgrade, there's no other complaints there. And how much infrastructure does that cost? Okay, another 260. We can probably get 260. Here we go. Another clear water. Don't need that much infrastructure. We've got clear water there. Saving it a little bit more food. Yeah. Builderville's tempting. Clearwater's tempting. Got enough infrastructure buildings here. We are access to tier 3 infrastructure. So the building hall has an upgrade. The warehouse, if we built the warehouse, would have an upgrade as well. The land expansion can get land reclamation, which is nice. Yeah, let's play around with that. This is hill, so we can also probably get the paved road there at some point. We can grab the coastal fortress here. I'm gonna pass on that. Mediterranean, I'd be a little more tempted to get the coastal fortress. It's a decent trade house. We got furs and wild beast here. Sure. I don't have the minimum requirements here for trade emporium. I think that's tier 3 culture, or tier 3 commerce. Nothing to build here. We do know that one of our emporiums is ivory. So other than not wanting to build it too close to the capital, it can pretty much go anywhere. And I'm saying not too close to the capital because we already have a source of ivory at the capital. Like here wouldn't be a bad place for it. think the nearby building is the provincial capital. Do you get a bonus from Ivory? Yeah. 10 culture from Ivory. Yeah. We're basically trading 15 money for 10 culture. Oh, the other one, the other emporium's a marble emporium. We're not hitting the best emporiums. There's better emporiums for us to hit. This is maybe not a particularly great place for it. We'd probably want it to be someplace where it's touching 2 capitals. So like Tigris wouldn't be too bad. Actually, Tigris would be a real good place because it'd be touching 3. It's just this is a particularly poor location. Let's pass on the Emporium here. There's situations where we're in Ivory, but there isn't any good ways to move Ivory around. Like we can go look at the capitals to see what their movement around some Ivory is, and I think there aren't any. Is needed by the Temple of Zeus. So there's one building that'll move it around. Now, there's plenty of buildings that uses bonuses, trading tents, trading houses, glasswork, sculpture shop, Straff Palace. Now, one of those we've got a lot of, right? But the thing that gets the bonus from it is actually a culture bonus. I think the sculpture shop, I think, might be a commerce bonus. Got a sculpture shop. Nope, that's a culture bonus as well. So wherever we put it, it's going to be turning money into culture. That's basically what's going to go on. So we just want a better exchange rate than 15 to 10, especially because this is Texans causing building as well. That's a decent well. I'll say a decent well. The well has a base of 8 food, so we're getting 1 extra food there. That's a food multiplier, which isn't bad when you're getting those applied to things. We only need 120-ish food made in the entire province to do that. Which means we can take most of the people off infrastructure. And actually, we can take everyone off infrastructure. Let's look at dinner turn. This is a little bit better place because we'd get the ivory bonus there, the ivory bonus there, and an ivory bonus there. So like here would be a good place for it. Not that there's being offered it for the moment. Usher 17 money. If we get 1 more infrastructure building, we'll get access to Tier 3 infrastructure. This is mountain, so we're not really going up the commerce line for the paved road. Slot down here. This is one of the smaller states. Would be a decent expert stonecutter. If we were looking for culture, this wouldn't be a bad choice. The reroll here because there's some 0 slots I'm interested in. I say some 0 slots. There's like 2 0 slots I'm interested in, which then means we only need 1 infrastructure here. Get that reroll, which I think we still are positive. Yeah, we're getting exactly 1 net infrastructure. Perfect. Open slot here. Well, I take the wells here. That's a decent well. 2 and a 2. Walls are at least effectively a reroll that provides some benefits. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking any of these choices, so we'll just take the wall. Take the palisade. Move the ceramics around. Extra money. No extra culture, which is a little bit of a shame, but also extra conversion bonus, which will be useful at trying to get the cementics to convert faster. 30 money from the Weaver, or it's the provincial. Provincial is like calves, so actually grabbing the archery range is not a bad idea. We actually recruit the provincial here. Nothing there. Alam is a build slot. Yeah, let's try to get to better loyalty buildings. Well, that's a decent orchard. It's missing the dates, but there's ways to get dates in. There we go. Everything building in turn. Well, lots to build here. We do want that conversion rate, so we'll take the temple upgrade. Oh, we have access to upgrading to sewers, so at this point everything's going to go on construction. Because sewers are expensive enough, we're just going to need everyone on construction. New cannabis area upgrade. Okay, so the temple and the cannabis area will complete. The sewers is going to need more time. This is definitely a place we're building archers, so archery range. The provincial building, or even if you're not necessarily building the archer in that territory, you get half the XP bonus applied to the entire province. Although you obviously get the best bonus in the territory where the thing is. So you get full if it's being trained in the territory, half if it's in the province. So we're training archers in the entire place there, so yeah, you get 5 on the first, and then you get 2.5 on the second, the third, the fourth. But if you're training archers, and you have all 4 archery ranges in that scenario, right, you're talking, oh yeah, the archer is going to get, what, 5 plus 7.5, so 12 XP. Bonus to start with, not bad. Could grab the scriptorum here. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go to the military store. Then we'll be 1 building away from. Well, we'll have all the military buildings we need. Although we're about to lose the guard tower, so it'll go away. And we'll still need another military building. It'll be fine. So I was saying to get access to tier 3 military buildings, but we're not. We're not going to. This stuff is going to go wrong. We are in range of purple here, so I'm definitely not opposed to getting the dyes. Bit of a shame there's no good way to move dyes around. Because then you could do purple to dyes, dyes to whatever you can move it with, but I don't think anything needs dyes. Plenty of stuff wants dyes, but not a lot of things need it. Well, sure. Oh, that's a gold mine. We'll take the gold mine. You know the farming area. Is there food upgrades we want? Yeah, we want the plantation. Probably do the city storage. Probably do the mill. Maybe the M4 fabricator, but we didn't hit any of those. We hit the regional road though, so we'll do the regional road. Ooh, smokehouse. Can I get enough infrastructure to get the regional road done? 140 is not super stretch. Although it might just be out of reach. I think it's just out of reach. Oh, no, we did hit it. Just barely. Nothing to build here. So we'll push a lot of the stuff back onto food production. Getting growing a little bit faster. Although we have an unstable region because of the Egyptians running amok a little bit earlier. Weapons depot here. No, hold on, weapons depot. Grab that clear water instead. Nope. Salt house. So food in a region that could definitely use more food. We're desperate for loyalty. Circus wouldn't be bad. We're not desperate yet. Slave market. This is not really a place I'm thinking about the slave market. I think I'm going to put all... We want about 10 slave marks, right? So I probably want like 5 in there, 5 in there. That's probably all the slave marks we need. We probably have a few extra because we've taken some over. That's already showing why that's not a good choice. Minus for food. I think we're going to hit a reroll here. Like the stuff I want there, but we're not being offered it. Okay. And then we're on to the loose. That's going to be a perpetual loose problem, I think. Delta less so, although we'll try to actually fortify... we'll try to fortify the Egyptian territories a little bit more so they're a little bit easier to not have the Egyptians walk and take back. Okay. I don't think any regionals want to play. Like, we do want to adopt local administration. In fact, actually, I will do it because we've got a place to do it on. Okay, so that's all the provinces. Let's advance the turn, see our armies move forward into positions. We should have 1 territory being overrun and 1 fort being attacked if everything's good for land. This is supposed to be where the fort attack is going. So we'll see if there is actually a fort attack on the next battle. But yeah, this actually looks like the provincial, so it looks like the provincials got called out for whatever reason into the field battle. Which means that the provincials are rickety wrecked here. Yep. Oh no, territory fell. There goes the cavalry landing in that location. It was a good thing the Egyptian Navy wasn't out and about, because the horses arrived too soon to be properly escorted by the fleet. And the cav overruns the garrison. And yeah, looks like we should just be able to sweep down the coastline there, denying the Egyptians the Mediterranean. We could gather mercenaries, which we're probably not going to do. Change recruitment policy. Yep. And oh, this is Crocus's legacy. This is turn money into stuff. No. Purchase administration has been extended. Oh, 1-2. That's a good roll. We got many good armor sets have been made. I think that only applies every turn if you're in the province. Although that event might have just said, yeah, if you've gone far enough without receiving the bonus, we're just going to apply it to someone. Not so sure. They've got some legacy from the Athenians. And the Spartans don't like each other. Do you? Okay, you're going to be 2 turns. It's fine. You go back there. We're just sort of going to be like, yeah, we're just going to zigzag through the territory. Maybe you don't want to zig and zag like that. There. There. And I think you're fortified. You're actually not fortified. So if we haven't had the main army retake you by the time you get the 4th turn, take that one as well. We'll do that attack. So you're 1, 2. You're 1, 0 with a supply stack penalty, or supply bonus. You're the 1, 0. We're going to just keep having you march down the coast. Keep more Egyptians from coming into our rear. This stack is ready to become an actual stack. Whoops. Merge. 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 That's a proper stack. We just get a 1, 2 wilderness expert. We'll take him. It's better than the disorganized guy, even though the disorganized guy is good actually attacking. So you'll do that, and you'll start working your way west. That's just showing you the road difference. It's like, yeah, like that looks as the crow flies faster, but no, just up the Mediterranean, up the Fertile Crescent, down the other side of the Fertile Crescent. Don't go to the middle of the desert. Middle of the desert, it's horrible. Okay. And then you're up here, trying to deal with the local rumor of a hideous snowman, which you have a 10% chance per day of removing. And then hopefully that will be strong enough that when we come down to the plains here, you can deal with the bandits. Okay, let's go through all our territories. Military Academy, expect to be done in a turn. We're not going to interrupt that. We want it to be done. Medea, who has finished his own military academy. That's good to see. I'm actually... Arsenal is what I finished. Okay. This is a place where we've trained close fighters in the past, so barracks is not a bad idea. This would grant us more XP bonus. Oh, this wouldn't be a bad place to build the ceramics either. 35 culture bonus from having ceramics here would not be bad. Get us access to the tier 3 culture building, or 3 commerce buildings as well. Yeah, let's go with the ceramics works. Armor wouldn't be bad here if it was training troops. I'm not always training troops here. Thinking going the tavern. Try to work out the culture buildings a little bit more. Regional road. And it is the Copperworks. Although, I think I want to go to the Smokehouse instead for the extra growth. Maybe an argument here to grabbing the trading tents. That'd get us enough to get up to paved roads. This is a place where we could actually pave the road. This is actually a place we could pave the road. And so then we're going to be looking for the regional and then the paving. Okay. Again, this is the place where we do want equipment stockpiling, because this is where we build the cataphracts. And then you are the one bit of plains. It's the best farming location in the entire area. Do I just take the shepherd house anyway? So then I can start rolling the tier 2 for buildings. No, I'm going to pass on that. We're just going to do the reroll here. Weapons will finish the turn, so I'll be fine. Next. Lots. A couple options here. Decent orchard. All the bone. In fact, this is showing you the problem with the volcano, right? The volcano is like, yeah, you lose like 30 of your food. This is just a good enough orchard that we don't care. It's a good enough orchard anyway. Can we get the wine here? We can get the wine here. This would provide us the 6 culture buildings, so now we'd be rolling for max tier culture, max tier commerce. We're maybe not looking for food anymore in this area because this is mountains. We're looking for military buildings. And probably looking for infrastructure buildings. We're 1 infrastructure building short, although the woodcutter is not the one I'm interested in, or rather the building hall. Village hall. So yeah, we'll tavern there. This is a coastal location that would be tempting to fish for the Thassalon Temple. Although, training ground. Military expertise, 0 slot, not bad choice. We're not usually training troops here, although I think this is probably provincial archers. Yeah, Pontic archers. Do the harbor upgrade. We may at some point want to be training elements of boats. To try to control the seas. Salt house. Do better orchard. Although that one's going to get better as soon as the sick animals goes away. Which is waiting on RNG this to deliver us. The major temple would be nice when that's done. Regional roads is nice. That is actually a large quarry that is an upgrade, so we'll take that. They're not always upgrades, sometimes the regional quarries are. We are probably at the point where we do want some loyalty. We've had better noble districts, but it's okay. 14 loyalty, it could be worse. And for the whole province, once these 2 are in here, in our domain, will probably be a much better province. Although it might take a while for that to show. Got a sewers, which when done will be nice. And expansion. Large farm. Tempting almost the ceramics works, but no large farm. The ceramics works will probably be back at some point. If fate would have us have it. Oh, nothing to build here, so on to food. Well, I do want like 1 infrastructure positive. Still put 1 guy in infrastructure. Military store will finish a turn, that's not bad. We got 1 slot, not 1 slot. That's probably worth building. 44 money, produces dies, some neighboring bonuses are getting bonuses from dies. Sure. Probably don't need the blacksmith. Although it's not the end of the world to the blacksmith. It gets access to the next commerce tier. How many infrastructure points do we have? Enough. Enough that we could start rolling for builder hall and large warehouse upgrades. Sure. Let's go that way. It's probably more than we need to build that, but we'll keep it, not gonna futz with it too much. Dazzling Temple. So we'd lose the 5% conversion rate. Although the Hellenic, we're maybe not too worried about converting the Hellenic if we've already got like 80% Iranian. Yeah, let's take the last one Temple here. Oh, trading required. We're not in, we're not close enough to the coral. Never mind, we're not building that because we're not having a coral. We were in the coral range, we'd definitely do it. Build the harbor instead then. Would like a little bit more infrastructure made here. Doesn't need to be much. Otherwise, it's just waiting for people to grow. I'll grab the furnace here. This will get us up to tier 2 commerce. Same here, get you up to tier 2 commerce. I love how the monuments that normally give base 10 culture right now are giving 15 because they're all our national effects. Mint. Upgrade the coin maker. We have gold, we have copper. Would be even better if we had silver, although silver is a little bit harder to move around. We're making progress. That area will speed up quite a bit once the public works are done. And we did get the bolster colony there, so they're now all fortified, although maybe not fortified very well, but they're all fortified now. Ooh, regional roads. Although, well, we don't have the wine, honey, or luxuries, but this would be real good if we had wine, honey, luxuries, and sales. Regional roads actually might help with getting the access to the sales. Grab that wheel. Here. We're trying to remove the malice here. We're definitely not going to wait around for the worship place. We'll take the cult site. And we've got enough food, we can move you from food to structure. And then we're on to the loose. The loose are idle. And that one will probably be idle on and off for quite a while. Until we can access Judin, then it won't be a loose idle. It'll be a provincial idle. Okay, let's cycle the turn and see how the troops do their thing. Immortals up against... There's a couple of Egyptian prop troops, but the rest is going to be basically garrison. So it's a pretty quick steamroll. Yeah. This is the cavalry versus garrison. Complete exhaustion of the battle line, and then the cataphracts just tear them up. And there's us against the barbarians. Close fighters in the desert. There we go. Cavalry once again up against province garrison. Pretty decisive military campaign that we have going in various places. Fighting has erupted between us and Nubia. Okay. I wonder why, but it did apparently. Buy, sell, displace. We're going to displace. We're going to sell metal, and that's our events. Where is Nubia? Apparently we're at war with Nubia, but there's no Nubia. Okay, we're just going to ignore that. I guess the Egyptians... I suspect the Egyptians, like, made them a subject, but also destroyed them in the same peace deal or something. Gonna interloper, which we'll play just to fight against the Athenians and the Spartans to dislike each other. Some more slaves there, okay. And yep, that campaign will continue. This campaign can continue. Where can you get to? Don't think you can do... Yeah, you can't do that. So I'm gonna go after that Egyptian army, or I can take that independent. We'll go after the Egyptian army. Tempted to send you after the Egyptian army instead of after a fort this time, because we see a fairly sizable Egyptian army. Yeah, let's try to do that. Let's try to go to that army. So 3 armies over there got orders. You've got orders. How goes dealing with the snowmen? Still got snowmen up there. Now we're going to go around to the provinces. We're not loyalty desperate yet, so we don't need to go running up the culture buildings that aggressively. So we can pass on the gladiator school here. Arguably looking for the armorer, but we're not that worried about it. You could boost cloth, which neighbors would benefit from, although we could probably just build a clothing maker and import the cloth, which do the same thing. Military store. Oh, I can actually see the argument for that. If we want to do a big build of immortals, we probably want to build like an entire army worth in one turn. So having more equipment stockpile is not bad for that. Yeah, let's pick up the military store. Nothing to build here. Is everyone on the food again? And the region is a little bit overinvested in infrastructure. As you can see, we have hundreds of infrastructure sitting around when people aren't on building stuff. We're not coastal here, so we don't need the cult site. And we've converted everyone. Could do the market. This wouldn't be a bad market. Yeah, let's put the market here. Unless that's a pretty good orchard. That's a pretty good orchard, too. Orchard instead, then. Although that's definitely an overbuild with the orchard. Orchard costs like 40. So everyone onto food? Again, equipment stockpile, in this case, is for the cataphracts. This is also a place where we probably, actually, the loyalty, probably want to pull the gladiator school when we can. We'll do the military store. We're not desperate yet for loyalty. And you wanted the farm, so that's perfect. Probably want the warehouse and builder hall. Not that interested in that commerce building. We don't get the farm here because this is mountains. I think I'm going to do reroll here, in which case we don't need anyone on food. Oh, we've got both the school and the academy here, which is nice. We're not that desperate for commerce buildings, and it's not a big enough modifier. Take the monument. A little tempting to take the solid walls, but we'll leave that in the pool for a reroll later. Two slots there. Coin maker. We got gold, and there's other ways to get silver and copper in. Sure. And that's probably overkill because the coin maker's not that expensive. Yeah, we can save about 200 infrastructure. Yeah. Actually, I went a little bit too far. There we go. Hit the wrong button. There we go. Only got the coral. I don't know good ways to move the other ones around. Or if there's even other ones in range. Could do the armor. That gives us access to tier 2 buildings. I think I'm just going to reroll here because we want the road upgrade. We could do the crafting district as well. School. I'm going to reroll here. There's a couple different buildings that we could do that would be better than what we've got. Temple's not a bad choice. Silk, frankincense. So 24 money from a trading tent's not that bad. This is one of the places... Oh no, this isn't the one I'm thinking of. One of the other places nearby. It's basically like, do commerce, do money. This one's not that bad. This is technically plain, so we can actually get a decent farm orchard crumble here. So we might actually try to re-roll into that. Because yeah, not necessarily... Granted, this would be a decent basilica. If we were looking for culture, we do the basilica, but we're going to re-roll trying to find the farming buildings, I think. How many infrastructure buildings do I have? 4. We're not going to do the walls. The irrigation system isn't quite there yet. When we get seed storage and granary in, we'll hopefully get access to the plantation, and once you get all that in, the irrigation system makes sense. We don't need the potter. Suppose we'll do the walls as an upgrade. As a reroll upgrade. Got a new territory. Of course, it's got shifting dunes, which aren't super great, but taking at least denies it to the barbarians. And we can get that public works done in a turn, which makes it even better. I can do the furnace here, so we're going to be searching for the copper works. The bank got bonuses off of... That might just make the coin meant. The bank imports gold, so... Some of the other buildings you want gold anyway. Do the forge. This is one of the places where if we want copper on the island, we're going to have to... Well, actually, I suppose we have copper on the island because the island has copper deposit on it, but if we want to import some of the other stuff, we might want the forge. Coin maker, it has copper. Gold's pretty easy to get with the bank, assuming gold's in range. And then silver similarly. Yeah, we'll grab the coin maker. And it probably will be in range because we've got access to the commercial port here, which is the +1 trade range. So we're already looking... We roll right and hit the regional road. We're looking at 2. Probably get it paved pretty easily, get up to 3. Coin maker's gonna need infrastructure. Oh, a lot of infrastructure. Yeah, coin maker's gonna be 2 turns, whatever we do, apparently. We can at least make sure it's definitely gonna be 2 turns by leaving it like it is. Okay, accelerate the growth like that. Same thing here. We don't do infrastructure here. While we're waiting for it to grow. And of course, moving things over to food just speeds up that growth. At some point, I'm going to have to take the islands off the coast here. Chios and Mili. But they're not a rush. Lesbos, not Melithi. Where do they get Melithi from? I don't know. Opens a lot there. And we don't need the loyalty yet. Could probably go with the port upgrade. That wouldn't be too bad. Do the quant. We'll do the quant. Which means you're oversupplying infrastructure. So I'll move everyone over to food, which in theory makes the quant actually look extra better. Because the quant also provides food, but... Well, percentile food. There we go. Yeah, quant's done in a turn. Move some more infrastructure back to food making. We'll do there next. Scriptorum. Sure. Worship place that would benefit from frankincense, although this is a place we can definitely import frankincense to. But we'll hold off, we'll grab the smokehouse, get the growth going a little bit faster. 2 slots there. I'm gonna reroll here. Not liking these options. And we have access to some real good options, switch, so I would rather hit some decent options there than some meager ones. Got the cult site, help conversion. Training ground. And what are we gonna get here? We're mostly converted here. We're down to 2 to go. So we can do cult site. I think I'll still do the cult site. I suppose 2 to go there is half the province, so, or half the territory, so it probably does make sense to go for the conversion. Maybe we don't need the guard tower here. We'll do the orchard. Help with food a bit. Oops, that wasn't what I was going for. Irrigation canal. Really good irrigation canal. 21 food. Providing papyrus to the area, allowing our neighbors to buy our papyrus. Yes, please. 2 turns, which will get a little extended when I build this building as well. We'll take the large wall. 3 turns irrigation canal. Okay. And then on to idols, and that one's going to be idle until we... Well, it might not always be idle, but it's prone to being idle because it's quite productive. Oh, and when we control enough of the delta, we could actually declare the delta a province. Okay, no idols. We got our troops already assigned. Let's go ahead. Let's check in the regionals, and we'll advance time. Let our troops do their thing. Oh, we've got both the Parthia and Circus Maximus in the same location. Okay. Um, 29 versus 4. We know the 29 is going to win, so we'll skip that fight. 28 versus 9. I'm pretty sure we're going to win that fight, so we'll just skip it. Yeah, we didn't lose any units. Look, the Egyptian army pulled away, but I still think that we should have an easy time here in the hills. Although it is close fighters in the hills, so the close fighters may not perform as well. But they're performing well enough. Here's the main battle. So this is our main army versus the Egyptian, presumably main army. About 32 versus 35. So this is going to come down to troop quality. And I think troop quality is in our favor. 6v6. Maybe not up against the Palace Guards. Go to the Palace Guards, the only units that hold. The enemy has a problem. Yeah, the enemy has a problem. So, yeah, Palace Guards held, but there's no... no wall, so they immediately abandon the territory, which means the guards disappear. And 29 versus 5 is easy. Change the recruitment policy, we'll just the bounty. We got 30,000 sitting around, so yeah, I think it's time to reach out to the Palestinians. We'd like you to stop being independent. We'll just give you like 2/4 of the treasury to lose your independence. That's arguably what we want to do with these guys as well, is be like, hey, we'll give you like half the treasury, can you become a subject? Not quite on board with that yet. Oops. Not exactly sure which shortcut I hit to swap to the color mode, but that's accidentally walk on the keyboard, I suppose. Inject the Egyptian treasury, which is good. Gotta federate barbarians. Any places we can actually do that? North border or east border? Let's do the north border today. Done a lot of the east border in the past. Okay, so go... Oh, it's Scorching Desert there, so we're not allowed to go there this turn. Okay, we'll issue that order and an assault. That's a fortified location as well, so I want you to go there and issue an assault. We'll replan your transit. Okay, that's a Scorching Desert. We're going to go here, and then we'll go there, there, work our way that way. So these one sort of encircled location, which is fine. You might as well go back to port, because the Egyptians obviously have no fleet on the Mediterranean if they control no ports in the Mediterranean. So that's the troop orders down here, although we are kind of being interfered with the fact that the Egyptian desert is scorching. No luck on clearing you yet. The farm got complete, which is nice. Okay. So I think things are going well. This is probably a good place to put a part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to record one more part during this recording session, so there should be a part up for you tomorrow. The plan is also to do a 3 recording session cycle instead of a 4 for a while. So in theory, if you're watching on YouTube today, the part after next should probably have already been recorded on Twitch, because we should have gotten around to recording by then, I think. Because it should have been recorded the night previously. So you can probably expect there to be a continual stream of content coming out in the coming days. If you're currently watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I am going to continue to record more, though we're going to take a short break so I can stretch my legs, sip a little bit of tea so the throat does not go out. Voice does not go out during the next sprint. But we're making progress. And of course, we're at the point in the game where we think we're going to win. It's carrying it out to victory at this point. I think we auto-win if we just continue at the current pace at 110 turns more. So I think it's 220 turns where the game ends by a score victory. We are scoring at a rate where we will probably double Egypt in that time. Part of what we're doing in Egypt is trying to figure out how we're going to reduce their legacy or steal more legacy from them. I suppose before we end this part, I can take a look at what the Egyptians are willing to negotiate. So, for example, they're willing to just give us a white peace. We want more than that. They're probably willing to give us about 20% of the legacy. We'd want more than that. They're obviously not going to give us all. Although, if we're playing by normal rules, if we took all of them, we'd win. We'd immediately have a victory as soon as they agreed to that. I'm not sure in this scenario if you can win by sudden death rules. Yeah, so they're willing to take that. I'm not quite sure where you're on to that. Oh, I can't do the Seed Province because we don't control things. We'd probably be looking at taking over Sinai at this point. And maybe Egypt is inferior as well. Basically knock them off of most of their good ports on the Mediterranean. Great, we could do something like that and say humiliate legacy. So we're looking at a deal where maybe we could do something like that, and they'd probably accept that in the next couple turns. Basically go ahead and take the delta off of them. Take the bridge over to where we are. So that widen our front, but we'd be taking like some of their most valuable territory off of them. Though, not their most valuable territory, some of the more valuable territory. Egypt's major here is probably their most valuable one, though the inferior and the superior do have some value to them, right? So this is their valuable Egyptian port, or their valuable Mediterranean ports. They've got wonders in major, they've got wonders in superior, but this is something we could do. We're not going to necessarily do that right now. So this is where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in. I'm desperately needing that tea, so I'll be back in a moment if you're watching on Twitch. Till next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.